Oh, that you would tear open the heavens, O Lord, and come down. That's what the prophet Isaiah says on this first Sunday of Advent, the first Sunday of the church year, the day on which we have lit the first candle in the Advent wreath, a new light in this season of darkness which will grow as the season gets darker. There is more darkness in our part of the world now. The sun goes down before 4:30 and it doesn't come up until at nearly 7 a.m. And so it gets dark earlier and it stays dark longer. The night is longer and the darkness deeper. And for some, this is a greater or lesser inconvenience. For others, it's isolating, or emotionally or even physically dangerous. For centuries, darkness meant the threat of danger, uncertain terrain, you could walk off a cliff or whatever, wild animals, people in the shadows who might jump out and do us harm. And darkness also reminds us of sleep, which can hit us sometimes in a way that reminds us also that death is coming. So darkness in the symbolic language of the church is an image of danger, sin, and death. Not just what we see, but also what we can't see that's hidden in the darkness that surrounds us. And not just the darkness of the night sky, but the moral darkness of a world given to abuse and injustice and exploitation and violence and war. And the darkness of a world that is broken by the threat of suffering, pain, sickness, and death itself. But the increased darkness this time of year also means more time to look up at the stars. And in our time and place, to look at Christmas lights, glittering like starlight come nearer to the earth and spread throughout our neighborhoods and our homes and our lives, so that in some ways where the sky ends, where the horizon is almost lost. Like the boundaries between heaven and earth have been wiped out, like heaven and earth have become one. Darkness also makes us more aware of candlelight, which has always meant the light of Christ in the church. Christ who is the light that shines in the darkness, in which the darkness did not overcome, the true light which enlightens everyone coming into the world. And I think if we get quiet and let ourselves go there, we can almost see those lights, those stars, those Christmas lights, those candle lights, as that light of Christ breaking through an even deeper night sky that comes day or night and casts a shroud over the fabric of reality itself, like a veil that keeps us from seeing that light, Christ's light, in all its glory. More than just a curtain between us and some lights that are out there somewhere, but existing everywhere and between everything, a shroud, a veil, a night sky, that if we could just see past it, or if God would tear it open, as Isaiah says, we would see light shining everywhere. Even in the space in front of our faces, even between our fingers, or within everyone and everything around us. And that light is just there. It's just beyond our ability to see it, but it's right there. More fundamental than atoms or subatomic particles. It shot in and through all of creation, that light, through all space and all time, so that if the veil were torn apart, the glory of that light would make the light released at the splitting of an atom seem as dim as the light of a dying votive candle or a flickering Christmas light on a strand about to go out. And it's right there. If we would and if we could see it. That light that would banish the darkness in which all our fears and sin and suffering and pain and violence and injustice and death lurk. Oh, that you would tear open the heavens, O Lord, and come down. Isaiah described what happens when God tears open the heavens and comes down. The mountains are shaken. And mountains are pretty stable, so if mountains are shaken, that probably means the whole world and all of creation is shaken and unsettled. The great and powerful and seemingly permanent things of the world, whether mountains or seas or deserts, but also empires, nations, and economies, settlements of rich and poor, and even those parts of ourselves, those we love and those we hate and those of which we are ashamed, that we think are unchangeable, all of it will shake. All of it will be unsettled. God tears open the heavens and comes down. All of it will change. Which begs the question which might be at the center of the season. What would we want to see change? I mean, really. When we are alone with God and are willing to risk looking into the darkness in our own souls and the darkness in the world, what do we see and what would we want God to change? What do we most long for? What do we most hope for us and for the world? Would we risk looking at and being honest about our deepest longings, our deepest hopes, about the light that we long for? So I want to be clear, there is nothing nostalgic, nothing sentimental, nothing cute about the light that will shine when God tears open the heavens and comes down. That light is power, and everything will be shaken. Nothing can withstand the transforming, unsettling power of God's coming, of that glory, that light. And that means anything is possible. Anything is possible. Our deepest longings, our deepest hope can be fulfilled. The season of Advent, of the increasing darkness countered by increasing candlelight, is about that light in the darkness and about that hope. And about our being awake to all of it. We can be sure that we'll be surprised by how God answers those longings, how God answers that hope. As surprised as those who long for a liberating king and are given a newborn baby in a manger. We can be sure that we will be surprised by the shape the light takes, though in the next few weeks we'll get a few hints about it. But we shouldn't be surprised about this. The light that is just beyond our ability to see it, but is right here, shining brighter than the sun. The light that would banish the darkness and in which everything will change, that light is coming. Oh, that you would tear open the heavens, O Lord, and come down.